Good evening. 7 months after the body of 18-year-old Kimberly Proctor was found burned beneath a bridge on the Galloping Goose Trail, two young men have pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. Proctor's body was discovered beneath a bridge in March, and the court heard today how she had been raped and murdered. Her parents were in the courtroom today listening to the grim statement of facts in their daughter's death. A News reporter Astrid Brownschmidt has the story, and we warn you, the details are disturbing.
The two teens accused of killing 18-year-old Kimberly Proctor have pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. Kimberly's badly burned body was found March 19th under a bridge on the Galloping Goose Trail in Colwood. The BC Supreme Courtroom was crowded. Kimberly's parents and relatives sat in the front row, visibly distraught as they heard the gruesome details of how the two boys planned her death well in advance. The 16-year-old and 18-year-old, who was 17 at the time of the crime, were placed in separate booths to enter their pleas. Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, neither can be named.
The court heard some facts today that I think anyone would agree are disturbing.
During the 45-minute proceeding, the court heard how the boys used text messages and online chats to plan Kimberly's attack and murder. They created code words which would initiate the attack. On the morning of March 18th, the teens met Kimberly at the Langford bus exchange. The older of the two then went to buy fuel, then the three went to the younger teen's house. A short time later, they attacked Kimberly. They grabbed her around the neck, used duct tape to bind her hands and ankles. A sock was used to gag her, and they removed her clothes. Over the next several hours, Kimberly was raped while she was bound and gagged. She was beaten and kicked, choked and suffocated, and eventually died. A knife was used to mutilate her body. Kimberly's body was placed in a chest freezer in the garage of the house. The next morning, March 19th, the teens took her body and fuel in a large duffel bag, boarded a BC Transit bus, and went to the bridge on the Galloping Goose Trail, where her body was doused with fuel and set on fire. BC Supreme Court Justice Robert Johnston accepted the guilty pleas. The teens also pleaded guilty to indignity to human remains. The Crown stayed the charges of sexual assault and forcible confinement.
Those charges the Crown has not proceeded on. The Crown has taken the position that the circumstances relating to those allegations are essentially encompassed in the agreed statement of facts that was filed before the court today.
As the statement of facts was read, the two teens showed no remorse, making brief eye contact with the courtroom. RCMP shared the details of Kimberly's death with her family last night.
So a very difficult investigation for the team, but it pales in comparison to what her family feels today and has felt for the last 7 months and will feel well into the future.
More than 40 investigators were assigned to the case, often using new investigative techniques to sift through thousands of text messages and online chats.
There was certainly that new side to it as far as technology goes, but there was a lot of old-fashioned police work done here as well.
The two teens have been ordered to remain in custody. Pre-sentence psychiatric reports will be heard in court in March, when the Crown will ask that the teens be sentenced as adults.
This is a crime which will haunt the community, the investigators, and her family for the rest of our lives.
Astrid Brownschmidt has been following the story since the day Kimberly's body was discovered. She joins us now live with more. Was there any indication today, Astrid, of the motive in the crime?
You know, Hudson, we may never really know why the two teens killed Kimberly. We do know, though, from the statement of facts that she did have some flirtatious relationships with both of the boys through the fall of 2009, but she did decline their advances. Online chats revealed the 16-year-old said he believed she was an easy target, and he admitted, quote, he had dreamed about killing someone ever since he was young, but he said it didn't feel like how he thought it would. Hudson?
All right, we'll be back in court for sentencing. Astrid, thank you.
You're welcome.